What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gaming. Welcome back to the next part in our pre-E3 coverage. Today we're joined by Mealcake Media,
Hey,
OnlineZhD,
what's up?
and Blue Danger.
Yo.
So in today's part of our pre-E3 coverage, we're going to be talking about the Microsoft conference, what we expect to see at their conference, some of the things we don't want to see personally, what we want to see from their conference. The games and the consoles and everything like that. So, yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on Microsoft?
Brandon, you go first. It's gonna be the only one. I'm excited about this.
Am I going? Wait, what?
Yes,
You go
since
first.
Oh,
you're
okay.
so excited about the Microsoft conference.
Wow, okay.
Microsoft
Sure.
is so excited about this.
How am I?
Yeah,
Bruh,
online
we,
of
okay,
so much
Microsoft
for
potential.
people that don't know, like, me and Blue have been having a debate on, like, freaking our group chat for, like, the longest amount of time just based on, like, EA versus freaking Microsoft conference. Because Blue thinks that EA is going to have a better showing than Microsoft just based on what they have, but, like, I don't know. EA to me has, like, Star Wars. Yeah, okay, let's go back to Microsoft. But, like, the thing is about Microsoft is, well, I have two sides of the story. Like, one, I feel like they're in, like, the biggest position where they can surprise people and they can make calls that, like, can very benefit people. Like, obviously with Game Pass, backwards capability, they've done that in the past where it's been quite a bit of surprise. Thing that I don't like is the fact that, Xbox Scorpio, as big as that is and how cool that will be, thing is about the games and, the studios. They don't really have any studios that could be working on games right now, so yeah. So talking about, like, what I'm looking forward to, honestly, every year about Xbox, what I'm looking forward to is just the things that, don't get leaked and, like, I say don't get leaked, but, like, their conferences have been getting leaked lately, but, like, they always have, like, some bit of a surprise there. Like, I didn't expect Dead Rising 4 last year, I think it was. I also didn't expect, what's it called? Backwards capability.
State of Decay?
Or compatibility.
Oh.
Yeah, State of Decay as well. Yeah, they always tend to have, like, a pretty good showing. I always find they're solid, like, they're showing solid, but, like, when I go on Twitter
They're always
afterwards...
solid. They're never really bad. It's just
Yeah,
that, like,
it's just they don't
compared to
impress, but they don't
last year,
fail. Like, it doesn't disappoint me, honestly. But, like, yeah, it just feels like, I mean, the thing about me is just, like, they're moving their press conference up, a day, so I feel like they wouldn't do that if they didn't have, like, something to keep the news on, so, like, I feel like they have to have something. Obviously, with Scorpio, I'm predicting, like, a prize release date, some games that are going to work on it at launch. I feel like they're going to do a better showing than that Sony did. I feel like they're probably going to have, like, a new UI for the Xbox Scorpio. Less cluttered. I feel like it'll be a bit, much bigger, jump than the PS4 Pro was. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Scorpio and how that relates to how the Xbox One S market and what people already have right now. Interesting to see what they do. But as far as I just want surprises, honestly, and just see what their games look like. As I've been saying, I feel like they're gonna have a new IP, but just thinking about it, like who will make it. So there's always that. But I don't know. I feel like they have to show something. They have to show something. Honestly, they're at a point. Yeah.
It's really interesting with their conference because, like, on one hand, I'm not really looking forward to it because it's like, I've never owned an Xbox console or anything like that.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a reason for that. It's just that, like, well, especially now all their exclusives come out on PC anyways. If I had a good gaming PC like that, I could play it there. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, Microsoft is really in this position where, like, they're seen as the underdogs, I guess, because even though they have, like, some exclusives coming up, they have Cuphead, they have State of Decay 2,
Yeah,
they
Cuphead.
have Crackdown 3. They're just none of these, like, these big system sellers like what Sony has coming up with, like, Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, all these big games. And it's also like none of these games would be like have, like, if they're gonna show it with Xbox Scorpio, right? Especially like Cuphead and Sea of
Yeah,
Thieves,
Cuphead
they're not
won't
gonna
be
have
like
like a big impact, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like if they're gonna be showing off the Scorpio, they really need either, like, AAA games that they're gonna be showing on the Scorpio, or they need to announce, like, something new.
Forza,
Like
like,
new
gonna
IP.
definitely be showed, like, although
Yeah, they're
like,
gonna show off
effects
Forza
and all that
with
stuff, cars.
the Scorpio, but didn't they already, like? Oh yeah, we saw that leak screenshot of Scorpio.
It wasn't leaked,
Forza
right? It
on
was
Scorpio.
just revealed.
Oh, it wasn't leaked. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
It was just revealed by Digital Foundry or something. Yeah, it looked good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I'm not gonna buy an Xbox just based on Forza, but, like, yeah. They
Yeah,
just need to have a
exactly,
promising future. I mean, look at PlayStation and just what they have. Like, they're just completely killing it. And that's not even being a fanboy at all. I feel like anybody that look at this,
Yeah, well,
just
I don't
list to
think it's
list.
a secret.
Yeah.
If you look at right now, it's obviously PlayStation.
I mean, I owned an
dominating,
Xbox One S, so I mean, an Xbox One, so it's not like I'm a fanboy. Yeah.
You had an Xbox One?
Yeah, I had it like for quite a
Did you
bit of
sell
time.
it?
Yeah, I ended up just selling it because I never used it really after I beat Rise on a Rome and Sunset Overdrive. That was like the only. I didn't really care for Gears of War 4. I mean, I was like debate. That's like the one game I was debating.
It's interesting too because even their like second party studios like Remedy is now going over to PlayStation 2. So it's like even though we're interested, like we want to see if they can bring out like a new IP or something like that. You know, it's interesting because like who's gonna be making that, right? Like you said that, as you said.
Right.
Exactly.
Here's my argument. Okay, I'm just gonna lay the ground down.
Oh boy, here we go.
Right, I don't want to come across as a fanboy. I couldn't give a shit about any of these. I want everyone to do well. I want everyone to be happy. I want them to give me a reason to buy an Xbox. I owned an original Xbox. I owned a 360. I've played the shit out of the Xbox One at my mate's house. I like Xbox, right? I think it's got the best controller ever created by a goddamn mile. The thing is, the argument that I'm gonna start. Right, let's do this step by step. The argument with EA is an open book. We've said this multiple times. Brandon stated this multiple times. They are an open book, and it is predominantly Star Wars and sports. I am not overly excited for EA's conference.
Here we go.
Visceral Star Wars game and Battlefront 2 are two reasons to be excited for a conference. Whether that's all they've got to show or whether it isn't. That's two reasons right there, right?
Yeah, that's true.
With regards to Microsoft, they have Scorpio coming out, which, you know, I'm not a massive guy on power, but I never dispute the power is important and frame rates and solid frame. I hope they nail frame rate before they like start promoting the 4K. I hope Scorpio nails frame rate over visuals. I hope it does both. The argument with Scorpio is that that's going to be aimed at a premium consumer. Now, the price of which we don't know. It could be $400. I don't think it will. I think it's going to be $500, or it could be $600. It could be more. We don't know that yet, but we know that they've said the target and premium consumers. That's not a good move because should not be their target audience. Their target audience should be the people who are looking at the other systems and looking at the other prices of the other systems. Like you can get a PS4 Pro for $400 with games. You can get a Switch for $300 soon with games, but less than $400 with games. A brand new system, right? The Scorpio looks like it's just going to be running games at higher frame rates and better resolution and better graphics that we already know of. Or the games that they announce are just reiterations and continuations of franchises that have been going on for fucking ever. A new Gears is fantastic. I love Gears. I think Gears 4 was fantastic, but it's another Gears. I liked Halo when Bungie did that. I don't like 4 and 5. So to announce another Halo game, which it's been confirmed that they won't. But even that, it's like, oh, another Halo. Forza's fantastic. It's the best racing sim out there right now. It's another Forza. Like, with regard to the new IP scenario, yeah, that'd be great. And yes, Microsoft are probably the least open out of all of these conferences. But my argument is, what studios would be making that IP? Remedy and Insomniac both worked for the Xbox One. They made Sunset Overdrive and they made Quantum Break. Quantum Break went third party. It went on PC as well. And both those studios... the game went multi-platform. Both those studios came to PS4. They're now working on PS4 games, and they will not have studios working on Xbox One games. That we can conceive. It wouldn't make sense because they will have the majority of their teams working on Spider-Man and P7, right? My argument is, who's going to work on it? Because Microsoft, that we know of, aren't investing in these big studios, and the majority of studios out there, second party and first party, are tied to Sony, right? Mm-hmm. So this big new IP, it's all right to speculate, oh, well, how cool would it be? But looking at it holistically, it's not going to happen. It's just going to be more reiteration. I want them to come out and I want them to be like, here's this brand new studio that we've like built, that we've invested so much money into. Surprise, here's this amazing new IP. But looking at the statistics and the likelihood of that happening, it's just so...
What about 343?
So you don't think it's going to happen? You don't think they're going to show off a new IP then?
I think it's possible, but the likelihood is they won't. And even that new IP, who will be making it and what will its relevance be? We can say new IP. That doesn't.
Is 343 confirmed to be working on Halo 6?
No, they're working on...
Because they said...
Halo 6 is in the works.
Aren't they working on a new IP? I swear they are.
I thought... Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
343 have got a new game, and I'm pretty sure they've got part of the studio working on a new Halo, because Halo 6 is in the works. It's just not going to be at the
I feel like they said that Halo 6 won't be at the conference, so I'm thinking maybe another game from them will be.
They said they wouldn't be at the conference.
But even that, 343...
They said they'll be there. They said there'll be something different. Like they'll still be there. So.
Yeah, they'll be there, and they said they'll show a teaser, I think they said, and Halo 6 won't be there, but it's in the development. But the thing is, even with 343, it's like their last two Halo games, 4 and 5, IMO were mediocre, and that's not me being a fanboy. I think Halo Reach and Halo 3 are masterpieces. Halo 2 is one of the best games ever made. but Halo 4 and 5 aren't, and those are the 343 seems to be leaning more into the microtransactions and heavy emphasis on like multiplayer and cosmetics and all that bullshit, rather than what made Halo great, which was its single player, not its multiplayer service stuff. So even them making a new IP, I'm like, I couldn't care less, because you're not giving me a reason to be excited because your last 2 games were mediocre. All right, great, I'll remain open-minded, but that's still not a big enough reason to get me excited to buy a fucking console, right?
Thing is,
at the end of the day, they need to announce something that's going to get people to buy a console, and it's got to be big. It can't just, and even that's one game, and then you're going to be buying an up-res version of third-party games that are already available on other consoles, and if this does come out and it's $500, $600, you're going to pay that to play third-party games that you could probably play on PC at the same specs for cheaper.
Well, they're not going to buy a Scorpio. That's the thing. I feel like they should be like trying to get people on board on the Xbox One than just the Scorpio. But they said like many times that the Scorpio is going to be, for premium people. But it's just like at that point, it's like, what, you're just trying to get the people that already bought like your 30 million consoles, like some of them to buy another console. Seems like you're trying to like grow that fan base and stuff. I feel like it's already too late almost in this generation. Like we're coming up here on 4 years. Yeah. So they gotta know that they gotta.
We're more than halfway already. So.
Yeah, so I gotta think that they're probably like trying to figure out their timeline on when they're gonna get these games out, and as well look at the future on what they're gonna do with their next iteration. But I feel like they have something. They need to have something to get some.
Yeah, they will have something, but it's dependent on the studio working on it. Like it's Cuphead. I'm an indie game advocate. I can't wait for Cuphead, but that's also on PC. And again, it is a business move. If there's over 100 million install base on PC, you're gonna go there compared to your 30 million install base on Xbox One. But if they're trying to push the Scorpio out, what's the point? Like, genuinely, at this point, there is no point in owning an Xbox One. You might as well buy a PC, because Halo, Gears, and all these big franchises are all on PC anyway. Probably cheaper than what the Scorpio will be. So what's the point? You know what I mean? And this is why I'm not excited about EA. Like, Visceral's game, okay, great, but I'm just not excited at all at the moment for Microsoft. And if they come out and they prove me completely wrong, calling me happy, calling me intrigued, I'll probably buy a Scorpio. But the likelihood is they won't, But I want them to, again, I'm not a fanboy. I want them to prove me wrong. If they prove me wrong, I'll buy a Scorpio at Christmas. You've got me word on that. But if they don't, again, I'll remain as skeptical as ever.
Yeah. They need to have something. They need to build I don't know. See, it's like, it's not like we've seen headlines of them like investing in studios. It's just like, I'm trying to wonder what it is. I mean, maybe digital trade-ins, that could be like a big thing, but like even then it's just like, what, trading in games, like it's not that's not even a thing to sell the console, just to please the people already on your platform. They gotta have something. It's not even like, even if that's the thing, for the people that want to say like, well, maybe they're keeping it under wraps. That doesn't stay under wraps. Investing in a studio, buying a studio, that studio will talk about it. It's like you can't keep something like that undercover and then be like, surprise, we bought these out. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You get that it gets announced that Microsoft has just bought out this studio, Microsoft, and we haven't heard that. So it's just going to be continuations of the regular franchises, or it'll be a mediocre new IP from like 343 or whoever. It's a shame, man. What about Dan?
I think the Scorpio's a sign. Microsoft want this console generation to end and just go again next generation. Because they'll learn so much from the Xbox One and come out, smash it out the doors. I'm expecting to. But for this generation, they're fucked. And in terms of games, again, they're fucked. Because they're just putting everything on PC. So there is no point in owning an Xbox at this point. And if Scorpio comes out and it's 500, 600, again, no point.
Yep, well, they gotta prove us wrong, and that's up to them. I mean, they gotta.
Hope they do.
They know this, so they gotta. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're Nintendo. They make decent decisions. It's just like,
No, they're not a retarded company. I think.
So it's just you gotta work with what they have, and they gotta know that. So I wonder what they're gonna do. I feel like they're gonna have to do something, and they know that, and it'll be interesting. This is like the year I've been the most hyped for an Xbox conference, because I feel like this is like in a position where they have to show something. They know that. So that's going to force them to do some pretty cool things, and I hope to see that.
Well, didn't we see Shinobi tweeting about how they invested in third party? Like, so
well, like one,
I'm imagining some tie into Assassin's Creed. It's going to be.
Yeah, it has to be Assassin's Creed at this point.
I heard some people talking about Shadow of War.
Well, yeah, Shadow of War is already tied to Xbox. It's going to be Play Anywhere, and it's also going to be on the Scorpio Enhanced.
Oh, okay.
So but even that, it's like,
That's the one game they have right now for like third party. Exactly. That's like the only game they have this year for third party, actually.
People can still play Shadow of War on Pro. People can play it on PS4. It's like, it's not.
I mean, you guys know how I like Shadow of War.
Yeah, I need to play. I've just bought it recently. I'm playing that.
Yeah. Dan, any thoughts?
Well, I've just had the joy of listening to a lovely lecture by Blue about it, but I think with me and Microsoft, I don't know. I don't like to hate on their conferences as much as other people.
Oh.
I mean, I accept, yes, they're probably one of the worst studios for announcing new IPs that I'm interested in, because they haven't really done that for quite a fair amount of time. But I think I agree with Brandon in this situation where I am kind of a bit more intrigued into it, not because of the Scorpio, because I mean, I think Microsoft are just focusing on that way too much. Like, I don't know why they're fucking bothering, because they ain't going to be winning this console race at all. There's no way they can recover from it. And I respect them trying to, hype up the Scorpio, because, it's more powerful than the PS4 Pro, but you're still not going to recoup all those lost sales. Like, they need to put this focus on games. And because of the fact that they've announced so little, in terms of what will be at the conference that's, exclusive, that it does have me a bit more interested as to, what, maybe they could, introduce more new IPs that will interest me. I mean, what 343 could be working on. I mean, you never know. Maybe 343, if they're not tied to the Halo franchise, can make a new IP that would actually be quite good. I mean, that kind of stuff, that does slightly interest me. I mean, if you had to make me choose between the two, I'd still say I'm more excited for EA's, only because of the games that I know will be there are more excited. But in terms of the conference that would, has the highest chance of surprising me, I think it's definitely Microsoft's. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a dodgy move trying to put all your, faith and hope into Microsoft, because most of the time they just let you down anyway. But I'm interested for the conference, not so much the hardware side or the Scorpio side, but just more or less if they will announce any new IPs at the conference and whether they will be interesting. And more importantly, if, they don't flop like every single new Xbox IP that's an exclusive does nowadays. I mean, Quantum Break flopped, Rise Son of Rome flopped. So many Xbox exclusives that in this generation that have been tried to be new IPs, they just constantly flop and flop. And I think it's really deterred Microsoft's passion and interest in making these new IPs. But I think they still have to keep going. You've got to keep on going with these new IPs. You can't just be like, okay, I accept defeat. Let's just continue making the same shit over and over again. Like, you've got to start trying new stuff. You have to keep on doing it. And that's all I really want from this conference. That's pretty much my say on it, to be honest.
They're gonna have to show something. They really are. Because let's be honest, in IMO, I just think Microsoft is gonna ride this generation out. I don't think if they've got one big game, cool, but that's one big game to Sony's 15. And not to sound like a fanboy, but they are competing directly with Sony, and they're being outsold 2-1. And all these second-party studios are going to look at that and think, well, why the fuck will we develop for a 30 million system when we can develop on a console that's selling 60? It's selling double. So the likelihood, and we're seeing it with Remedy and Insomniac. Insomniac could have been working on a sequel to Sunset's Overdrive.
And even like the original creators of Gear, like they just announced a game this week, like Lawbreakers, and it's going first to PS4 and PC. Right?
Oh god.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's bad, man. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Bad situation.
Sad. They used to be like the dominant king. Like I remember back in the day. Like
last generation, is it?
It's crazy how things changed.
Yeah, the start of last gen, Jesus Christ, they literally had that generation by the ballsack at the start of it.
And
Like,
then
they were so in control.
Completely fucked it by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had the worst reveal conference of all time with the Xbox One.
I remember so excited for it, and all I saw was like Call of Duty Ghost, and then just TV, Xbox TV.
Conference I've ever seen.
The only conference that can rival that for sheer awfulness is Konami's, and that's a pretty bold statement.
In
The
2010.
2010 one.
No,
Yes.
Nintendo Switch's reveal one in January was atrocious.
Oh, that was bad. But even then, that wasn't as worse as that wasn't as bad as Microsoft's, because at least they showed off like Odyssey and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I remember when they showed off.
I mean, they had the release date for Zelda, and like they had good games. It's just like people were hyping it up for it to be something else.
I remember when they were like, yeah,
but not as big as Xbox. Don't even get that confused.
3 hours.
Yeah. What?
When they were like, the battery life when you take it out of the dock is 3 hours. People are going crazy.
Well, that's to be expected. I mean, it's a home console on the go. I mean, that's not the big thing.
It was just a lack of games.
It was just a lack of stuff. Like they showed off 2 launch titles or so, like 1, 2 Switch and frickin' Zelda. I mean, Zelda's huge. Don't get me wrong, but like they need to have like
Bomberman as well. Bomberman was huge.
Yeah, but I heard that wasn't as good.
No, Bomberman's huge, man. But
No, I heard it's not as good. Like the game
was
wasn't as good.
That was shit.
Yeah.
Launch window.
Yeah.
Oh, so remember Project Octopath Traveler? Oh my god.
Yeah. Skyrim
Nah,
was cool, but that's like a
Microsoft, I
2011 game, and we all know how Blue likes Skyrim.
Oh, fuck Skyrim. But, yeah, Microsoft
Skyrim
are in
wanna
the
go.
shit now. Microsoft needs to get themselves out of this, and I
Alright.
don't think they will. I think they're just going to ride it out, and that'll be it.
Any closing thoughts? Me like Justin right now.
I just hope they show off a new IP, one new IP.
I just want games and surprises, honestly. That's the
And
big
that's
thing
the
for
thing,
me.
they
I
had
hope,
new
I
IP.
hope that it's
They had the new
interesting.
IP, they had
Yeah.
Scalebound, and they fucking cancelled it. Platinum Studios, one of the best gaming studios on the planet, and they cancelled it. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, why are you, what?
Oh,
That's
stupid.
what would have sold your console, you fucking bellends.
Well, you still have the IP, though.
It was a new IP, and
you still been
you
trademarked.
just shit it. Like, it's stuff like that. It's like, why are you so obsessed with your long-running franchises that aren't pushing your consoles? That's why Xbox One's failing.
I think they're worried about taking chances with new IPs now because they did that with Quantum Break.
And that's why they're failing. It's I'm not the head of I don't know how to run shit for a company. I'll be bollocks ahead of Xbox. But even
But
I
I
can
think it
see
also
that
has
that's
to do
like,
with because they're already behind, though. You know.
I know, but they're not. They've got to at least salvage something.
But I
from
mean,
this
look at the
generation.
Wii. I mean, they weren't selling well, but they still had like good games on it. So you gotta keep like trying new stuff, and they can't
Like with
just like lay
Sony, they're
down.
trying right now with all these new IPs.
Yeah.
But like, I guess it's also because they're like ahead by so much they can afford it. I guess.
Yeah. Plus, they know that like if they give their developers time, like Naughty Dog, they can create something good. And like look at Horizon Zero Dawn. That's just even more proof that now they're gonna even let more studios even do more. Like you know,
Yeah.
like just
Like
showing,
Sucker
like,
Punches,
yeah,
they're doing that with Sucker Punch too. So.
exactly. Like
Right,
Sucker
and
Punch
that-
takes their
and that's
time.
exactly what Justin just said about Xbox not wanting to, or Microsoft not wanting to take risks. That's exactly why they're losing. And it's like, yeah, the thing is, like, look, they can look at Sony and they can get depressed all they want, but if you're not going to try and attempt to salvage this generation, you're not going to start the next one any good. Everyone will just move to PlayStation straight away. Even if
Yeah,
you
that's
come
what
out
I was
and be like,
thinking. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, even after this console generation, wouldn't it carry over to the next one?
exactly, and
Yeah.
it's not even the consumers, it's the devs as well. The devs aren't going to think, well, Xbox got shat all over by Sony last generation, let's move back there. Like Insomniac and Remedy are going to stay on PlayStation if PlayStation's thriving again. You know what I mean? So as Microsoft, take some fucking risk, stop being a pussy, come out and be like, we've invested so much into this studio, here's a brand new IP, never been done before, on exclusive to Scorpio. Bang, there you go, there's a system.
I'm actually glad that Remedy came over to PlayStation too, because I feel like their type of games would be even better for PlayStation fans.
Well, yeah, I
Sony
guess
will let
that's
them
yeah.
take a risk.
Yeah.
Whatever their IP is, they'll let them take a risk.
I mean,
And
it's not like
that's
they're working with them. I think they'll just be like a multiple, like, yeah.
Yeah, I go. Yeah,
It's
I
still
know.
coming to Xbox though, right? Remedy's new game.
Yeah.
So it's still possible we can. Do you think we'll hear about it anytime soon?
Nope,
Nah.
nope.
Yeah, it's because it's new IPs.
No,
so
they
it
take
has to
so
take
long
time.
to make their games. They take
That is
so
true
long.
because Alan Wake, between Alan Wake and Quantum
Alan
Break,
Wake
took like a
was,
while,
2006, I think, right?
Yeah.
They started development.
which is good. I mean, their games are
then-
like if they
yeah.
take their time. Quantum Break still looks
Yeah,
good.
no,
Like that's a
I
cool
think
game.
Quantum Break was like in development for like 5 years.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what Horizon. I mean that took. I mean it's a new IP.
Yeah, I know, but Quantum Break wasn't seen that successful.
Yeah, but still, new IPs take a long time. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Horizon. I mean, it's not as big, but still, I think that was started in development like 2012. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
All right. Well, those were our thoughts on the upcoming Microsoft E3 2017 press conference. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. And yeah, with that, we'd like to thank you a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next part.
See ya.